All right, so we're diving into some pretty cool wine regions today, ones you don't hear about every day.
Yeah, definitely off the beaten path a bit.
Exactly. We're heading down under, focusing on the southern hemisphere, those up-and-coming wine regions everyone's talking about.
Lots to uncover. Should be fun.
I've got these awesome chapters from a wine study guide someone sent over.
Oh, cool. Let's see what hidden gems we can dig up.
Sounds like a plan. So, first stop, Chile. Sunshine, vineyards, and a big focus on sustainability.
It's all about the geography there. The Pacific Ocean on one side, the Andes Mountains on the other.
Creating those unique microclimates. Got it.
Exactly. Perfect for all sorts of grapes.
But hold on a second. Isn't Chile also right in the path of El Nino and La Nina?
Oh, yeah. They definitely have to deal with those weather patterns.
Yeah.
Can shake things up a bit.
So how do they handle that? Those sound pretty unpredictable.
Well, they've got some pretty reliable natural cooling systems, like the Humboldt Current.
Oh, right. Straight from Antarctica. Keeps things nice and chilled.
Exactly. And then you have these big temperature swings between day and night. Warm days for ripening, but then those cool nights help lock in the freshness.
That makes sense. And speaking of what's growing there, we can't talk about Chile without mentioning Carmenere.
It's their star, for sure.
Almost went extinct though, right? Mistaken for Merlot for years.
It's a real comeback kid. Full-bodied, herbaceous, dark fruit. It loves that Chilean warmth.
I'm already picturing a glass of that. But Chile also seems to be doing great things with Sauvignon Blanc.
They are, but it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Depends on where you are.
Terroir, right? The personality of the place shining through.
You got it. Cooler areas like Casablanca, you'll find that classic, crisp Sauvignon Blanc. But warmer spots bring out more of those tropical notes.
Same grape, totally different vibes. Love that. But it's not all bold reds and chili, is it?
Nope. There's a cool climate Pinot Noir movement happening, too. Regions like San Antonio, they're really serious about terroir there.
That's awesome. So it's on to Argentina, home of Malbec, of course.
And those high-altitude vineyards. Can't forget about those.
Oh, yeah. Those sound incredible.
But those Andes Mountains play a huge role, even beyond the views. Creates a rain shadow effect. Blocks most of the rain.
Really? So how did the vines survive?
Irrigation is key. But that lack of rain means incredible sunshine and unique soil. That's what creates that special terroir.
So picture this. You're in Argentina, surrounded by the Andes, sipping on some Malbec.
Sounds like a dream, right?
But Argentina's got more to offer than just Malbec, right?
Yeah.
What else is hiding in those vineyards?
Absolutely. And even with Malbec, there's so much variation. Altitude plays a huge role. Higher up, you get elegant, floral Malbecs.
Lower down.
They become more full-bodied, bursting with those rich fruit flavors, like the mountains are shaping the wine.
Okay, that is cool. Now, I keep seeing Bonarda pop up on wine lists.
Oh, yeah. It's actually one of the most planted grapes in Argentina. But it flies under the radar a bit.
Kind of a hidden gem, then.
You could say that. You get those easy-drinking, fruity styles, but some winemakers are pushing the boundaries, making more complex, concentrated Bonardas.
I'll have to keep an eye out for those. And then there's Torrontés, the white grape that seems to be all about the aromatics.
That's Argentina's signature white, all right? Floral, stone fruit, melon. And if you want the really good stuff, look for the Cafayette region, high altitude, really special.
Okay, that's going on the list. But this is where things get really interesting for me. The pergola system they use. The Perel.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful, right? Canopies of vines.
Yeah, it's like they're protecting those grapes from that intense Argentinian sun.
It's a traditional method, still used for Torrontés, but you'll see more vertical trellises now for the black grapes, trying to keep those grapes shaded just right.
Makes sense. All right, next stop, South Africa. Breaking all the rules, right? Warm climate, but with these amazing cooling tricks.
It's a unique combination, that's for sure.
Right.
The Benguela current sweeping up from Antarctica, those Cape Doctor winds.
Yeah. Keeping things breezy. And then those mountain ranges, adding another layer of complexity.
It's like nature's own air conditioning system. Creates those diverse microclimates, channels the wind, provides shade.
Pretty ingenious. And then they've got Chenin Blanc, which seems to be having a real moment in South Africa.
It's such a versatile grape. You can find those simple, refreshing Chenin Blancs, and then there are the complex ones, the ones made from those old bush vines.
So much variety. I love that. But what about Pinotage, South Africa's unique grape?
Ah, yes. Pinot Noir and Cinsault crossed. It's definitely distinctive.
Seems like people either love it or hate it.
It can be light and fruity, but those old bush vines can produce something really special. Full-bodied, rich.
I've heard they often have notes of chocolate and coffee.
Yeah, that can be from oak aging or using oak staves during fermentation.
Oh.
And then there are the Cape blends, mixing Pinotage with other grapes for a little extra complexity.
Sounds intriguing. But we can't forget Stellenbosch, the region everyone's talking about when it comes to South African wine.
Stellenbosch is premium wine country, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Shiraz, and it's near False Bay, so it gets that maritime influence too.
Adding another layer to those wines. And then there's Constantia.
Steeped in history, beautiful Sauvignon Blanc, and the famous sweet wine Vin de Constance.
Have you ever tried that?
I have.
Love.
And the Swartland region is another one to watch. They're shifting from mass production to focus on quality, old vine Chenin Blanc, dry farmed vineyards.
Really? That's a big shift.
Oh.
Okay, last stop on our world tour for today. Australia, known for being hot and dry.
That's the challenge for sure.
Not exactly what you picture for a wine region.
No, not at first glance. But irrigation plays a huge role there. And they've got those ocean breezes and higher altitudes. Think the Clare and Eden Valleys.
So they make it work. And of course, we have to talk about Shiraz, Australia's star.
Shiraz is a real showstopper down under.
I've heard good things. What makes Australian Shiraz so special?
It depends on the region, like the Barossa Valley.
Hmm.
Warm climate, so you get those bold, full-bodied Shiraz wines, big on fruit and spice.
And they love their American oak, don't they?
They do. Adds those vanilla and spice notes. And it ages beautifully.
But the Barossa Valley also has this Barossa Zone designation, right?
Yeah, that lets winemakers blend fruit from both the Barossa Valley and the Eden Valley.
Interesting. And the Eden Valley's a little cooler, isn't it?
Much cooler, higher altitude. And it's Riesling heaven. Bright citrus, lime, that crisp acidity.
Wow.
Ages like a dream, too.
Now we're talking. So the Eden Valley is a gem within a gem. But there's also the Clare Valley.
Another Riesling paradise. Warm days, cool breezes, chilly nights. You get that bright citrus, but with a floral twist. And their Shiraz is great, too. Powerful and age-worthy.
Okay, Clare Valley Shiraz is going on the list. Now, what about the Adelaide Hills, McLaren Vale, and Coonawarra?
The Adelaide Hills is all about cool climate elegance. They make fantastic Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay there. Pinot Noir, too. McLaren Vale is warmer, but those ocean breezes keep things balanced. They're known for those old vine Shiraz and Grenache wines.
And Coonawarra has that famous Terra Rossa soil.
That's right. Rich red soil over limestone. They make incredible Cabernet Sauvignon there. Concentrated, structured, those classic blackcurrant and eucalyptus notes.
Sounds delicious. Okay, time to head to Victoria, known for its diverse microclimates and cool climate wines. What are we looking for there?
Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, for sure.
Right.
Especially around Melbourne, Port Phillip Bay. And then you have the Great Dividing Range running right through the state. Creates those higher altitude areas, perfect for Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, even some Riesling.
Lots of variety. I love it. What are some of the standout regions there?
The Yarra Valley is one. They make exceptional Pinot Noir there.
Yeah.
Rich fruit, silky tannins, vibrant acidity, and some really interesting sparkling wines too.
Sparkling wines from the Yarra Valley. Okay, I need to try that. What else?
Well, you have the Mornington Peninsula, cool climate, maritime influence. They're known for their Pinot Noir, but it can vary quite a bit from vintage to vintage. And their Chardonnay is fantastic too. Bright, high acidity, and lots of winemakers use malolactic fermentation to give it that creamy texture.
Malolactic fermentation, just for those who aren't familiar, that's the process that softens the acidity, right?
That's it. And then there's Geelong, with a similar climate to the Mornington Peninsula, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, a really interesting peppery Shiraz style, and yes, more sparkling wines.
Okay, Victoria is officially a sparkling wine lover's paradise.
It is. And then there's Heathcote. Further inland, higher altitude, their Shiraz is fresher, more structured, and they're doing some really interesting things with other varieties too, like Cabernet Sauvignon and even Sangiovese.
Sangiovese in Australia, that's unexpected.
It is. But it shows you how diverse Australian wine regions can be. Then you have the Goulburn Valley, warmer, known for its Shiraz and Marsanne.
Marsanne, what's that all about?
It's a white grape, originally from France, loves the warmth of the Goulburn Valley, starts out citrusy, but develops those honeyed, nutty flavors as it ages.
Okay, let's move on to New South Wales. What have we got there?
The Hunter Valley is the big one, hot and humid climate.
That doesn't sound ideal for grapes.
It can be challenging, but they've got those ocean breezes and cloud cover to help balance things out. And they're famous for their Semillon. It's light-bodied, low in alcohol, really high in acidity.
Not very fruity then.
Not when it's young, but here's the thing. As it ages, it transforms.
Mm-hmm.
Toasty, nutty, honeyed, totally unique.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. What about other regions in New South Wales?
You've got cooler spots like Mudgee, Orange, and Cowra. They're doing some great things with Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon. But the Hunter Valley is definitely the heart and soul of New South Wales wine.
Awesome. Well, I'll head over to Western Australia now. Margaret River seems to be the region everyone's talking about these days.
It's a rising star for sure. Warm, maritime climate. Cabernet Sauvignon blends, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc Sauvignon blends.
So they do a bit of everything.
They do. And then you have the Great Southern region. That's a collection of subregions like Mount Barker and Franklin River, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, and some really interesting Riesling.
Riesling really seems to be popping up everywhere in Australia.
It is. And Western Australia is no exception. And of course, you have Tasmania, the island state, cool climate.
Pinot Noir country, right?
Exactly. They were known for sparkling wines, but they're still, Pinot Noir is really gaining recognition. And they do other cool climate varieties too. Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc.
Before we leave Australia, let's talk about that southeastern Australia zone. It sounds a bit mysterious.
It's a big area, covers a huge chunk of land across multiple states. Lets winemakers blend grapes from different regions, giving them more flexibility.
Makes those more affordable, everyday wines, right?
Exactly. A lot of those grapes come from irrigated areas like the Riverland, the Riverina, and the Murray-Darling.
And the Riverina is known for botrytized Semillon.
Right. They get those autumn mists and fogs that roll in, perfect conditions for noble rot.
Botrytis or noble rot is a fungus that attacks the grapes, right? Sounds a bit scary.
It is a controlled rot, so don't worry. Dehydrates the grapes, concentrates the sugars. The Riverina's got the perfect climate for it.
All right, let's dive into New Zealand, the land of Sauvignon Blanc. But I'm guessing there's more to the story.
Oh, there's so much more. New Zealand is a cool climate paradise, long sunny days, those crisp nights, perfect for those slow ripening grapes bursting with acidity.
So it's not all about Sauvignon Blanc.
No. They've got two main islands, and the Southern Alps play a huge role in shaping things there.
Those mountains create a rain shadow effect, don't they?
Exactly. They protect those vineyards on the eastern side of the South Island, and they also help create all those microclimates, each with its own unique character.
So it's not just one big Sauvignon Blanc factory.
Not at all. You see those regional differences, even with Sauvignon Blanc. Think tropical fruit vibes on the North Island.
But in the South Island, especially Marlborough.
That's where you get that herbaceous, grassy stuff.
Ah, the famous Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, the one everyone talks about. Zesty, vibrant. I've even heard some people describe it as having a cat pee aroma.
Some people say that yes. Let's just say it has a distinct herbaceousness. But jokes aside, Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc is world-renowned. Those explosive fruit flavors, that zingy acidity, those unique herbal notes. It's something special.
Okay, let's move on from the cat pee. New Zealand Pinot Noir is making a name for itself too.
It is. It's gaining recognition for its elegance. Think vibrant fruit, fine tannins, a silky smooth texture.
And what are the key regions for New Zealand Pinot Noir?
Keep an eye out for Martinborough in the North Island and Central Otago on the South Island.
Okay, so they're on opposite islands. Big differences between those two regions.
Definitely. Martinborough Pinot Noirs are more medium-bodied, those darker fruit flavors. A bit of spice reflects the warmer temperatures there.
And Central Otago.
That's a continental climate. Hot summers, cold winters, those big temperature swings makes for bigger, bolder Pinot Noirs. Juicy, vibrant.
So we've got the North Island with its tropical Sauvignon Blancs and elegant Pinot Noirs, and the South Island with its zesty Sauvignon Blancs and bolder Pinot Noirs. It's almost like two different countries.
It is. New Zealand packs in a lot of diversity for its size.
Okay, let's take a quick tour of those key regions, starting with Auckland. Where did New Zealand wine begin?
Auckland is where it all started. It's still a hub for lots of wineries, warm, wet climate. They're doing some interesting things with Chardonnay, Merlot, and Syrah.
Not the easiest climate for grapes, is it?
It can be challenging, but just off the coast is Waiheke Island, known for its top-notch reds.
Waiheke Island, got it. And what about Gisborne?
That's on the east coast of the North Island. Flat plains, lots of rain. But they also get that heat and sunshine perfect for ripening those grapes.
They make a lot of Chardonnay there, don't they?
About half of New Zealand Chardonnay comes from Gisborne, often ripe, tropical, and they do great things with Gewürztraminer and Pinot Gris too.
So Gisborne's the place to be for those fuller-bodied whites.
It is. Then you have Hawke's Bay, another warm, sunny region, actually the warmest in New Zealand. Lots of diversity there, different soils, altitudes. One spot to remember is Gimblett Gravels. Well-drained, heat-absorbing gravel soils. They're making some exceptional reds there.
What kind of reds?
Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah. They're thriving in gimlet gravels.
Okay, gimlet gravel's definitely going on the list.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Huerapa.
The southern tip of the North Island. Home to Martinborough, famous for Pinot Noir. Warm summers, but big differences between day and night. Helps those grapes retain their acidity.
Makes sense. Okay, that wraps up the North Island. What about the South Island? Let's start with Marlborough.
Marlborough is Sauvignon Blanc Central, New Zealand's largest and most famous wine region. 2 main valleys there, the Wairau and the Allwater.
So 2 valleys, 2 different Sauvignon Blanc styles.
You got it. The Wairau is bigger, lots of sunshine. Those tropical fruit flavors come through in the Sauvignon Blanc. But the Allwater is drier, cooler, and windier. So the Sauvignon Blancs from there have a higher acidity, and those herbaceous notes are more pronounced.
So even within Marlborough, those microclimates play a huge role.
They do, but Marlborough isn't a one-trick pony. They make great Chardonnay, and Pinot Noir too, both still and sparkling, and some Riesling and Pinot Gris.
Sounds like a place I need to visit. What about Nelson?
It's smaller on the northern coast, cooler and wetter than Marlborough, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris.
All right, and we've got Canterbury and Central Otago left to explore.
Canterbury's on the eastern side of the South Island. They've got a mix of microclimates there. Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, Riesling.
And Central Otago, that's the one with those dramatic landscapes, right?
Yes, nestled in the foothills of the Southern Alps. Continental climate, hot summers, cold winters. Known for their Pinot Noir. Full-bodied, juicy, vibrant.
They do other grapes there too, don't they?
They do. Pinot Gris, Riesling, Chardonnay.
What an incredible journey through the Southern Hemisphere. From Chile to Argentina, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. So many unique terroirs, signature grapes, different winemaking styles. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. Shows you there's a whole world of wine out there beyond Europe.
So what does all this mean? We've talked about these amazing wines, but the fun starts when you actually go out and try them.
Absolutely. So here's a thought. We've covered the main players, but there are so many hidden gems waiting to be discovered.
What do you mean?
Think about those lesser-known grapes. An Argentinian Cabernet Franc, a South African Grenache, or maybe a Chilean Pays, a New Zealand Syrah.
So many possibilities. It's time to get out there, explore, and experiment.
Your next favorite wine could be from a region you've never even heard of.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Okay, let's talk a bit more about those lesser-known grapes and regions. Where should people start if they want to try something new?
Well, if you're looking for adventure, Argentina is a great place to start. They've got Cabernet Franc, for example. It's not their flagship grape, but some winemakers are doing amazing things with it.
Cabernet Franc, isn't that a grape from the Loire Valley in France?
It is, but it's found a happy home in Argentina, especially in cooler regions like Mendoza. It ripens a bit earlier than Malbec, so it does well in those higher altitude vineyards.
What kind of wines does it make?
Think medium-bodied, bright acidity, red fruit flavors, and often a touch of green pepper or herbs. It's a food-friendly wine that can handle a bit of spice.
Sounds delicious. What about South Africa? Any hidden gems there?
Oh, tons. Grenache is one to watch. It's a Rhone Valley grape, known for its full-bodied, fruity wines, but it thrives in South Africa's warm climate.
And what's the style like there?
You get those ripe red fruit flavors, but often with a peppery spice and a savory edge. Some winemakers are even making Grenache-based blends, similar to those from the Southern Rhone.
I love those Rhone blends. Okay, what about Chile? Anything beyond Carmenere and Sauvignon Blanc that's worth seeking out?
Chile has this amazing old vine grape called Pays. It was brought over by the Spanish conquistadors centuries ago, and it was widely planted but then kind of fell out of fashion.
So it's a bit of a forgotten grape.
It is, but some winemakers are reviving it, making these fresh, juicy, light-bodied reds. It's a bit like Beaujolais, with those bright red fruit flavors and a hint of earthiness.
Pays. Okay, I'm adding that to my list. And how about New Zealand? Surely they have more to offer than just Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir.
Oh, definitely. Syrah is one to watch. It's a northern Rhone grape that loves warmth, but it's finding a foothold in the warmer pockets of New Zealand.
Warmer pockets of New Zealand, where would that be?
Think Hawke's Bay and even parts of Marlborough. It's still early days for New Zealand Syrah, but the wines are promising those dark fruit flavors, a touch of pepper, and a bit more elegance than you might find in a Syrah from the northern Rhone.
This is fantastic. So many exciting wines to explore. I'm feeling inspired to get out there and try some new things.
That's what it's all about. Expanding your horizons,
Yeah.
discovering those hidden gems, And who knows, you might find your next favorite wine hiding in plain sight.
Absolutely. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into Southern Hemisphere wines. I've learned so much, and I'm definitely feeling inspired to explore these regions further.
Me too. There's always something new to discover in the world of wine.
That's the beauty of it. Cheers to that.
Cheers.